Well, that ends another edition of the Reading Circle with Marc Medley. And as I said, the shows are getting more and more powerful. And I know that's God design. I'm not going to take the credit for that. I'll give the credit to God on that one for sure. I mean, I give the credit to God on anything, on everything, but for that matter. But this is not me. There's a grand design here based on the guests that I'm getting and the conversations that I'm having and the people that I'm meeting. It's something coming about. It's something brewing. There's a breakthrough coming through that we don't see it yet, but I feel it. The conversations, they're deep. They're very similar to the conversation I had this morning with Frederick. Yesterday, I had this conversation, and he was on the show early in the year with Walter L. Fields Jr. He was my graduation speaker yesterday, and I'm not excluding the women because at some point I'm going to pull them because I've met some powerful women as well. Kayona R. Miller, the councilwoman, and I'm going to have her on the show shortly. But Kayona R. Miller, she's a councilwoman in North Plainfield or South Plainfield, one of the Plainfields. I think it's North Plainfield. Powerful sister as well, and some other women that I've talked to. I'm going to see if I can start pulling some of these folks together, see if there's something, I don't know what we're going to call ourselves, but see if we can get together and really kind of start impacting some of this nonsense that we are seeing. And from our youth, I tell you, it is, I live it every day. I see it coming all the way up to Pike from second grade on up because my school is 2nd to 8th, but I also see it pre-K on. It's scary of what we see coming through from that young of an age group. Whenever you have 8, 9, and 10, 11-year-olds calling their mother a female dog, and they're not saying female dog, they're saying the slang term. And even that is not the slang term, but it's the derogatory term. 9, 10, 11, turning around to their mother and calling them a bitch and have no shame in it. 6th graders telling adults to kiss their backsides, and they're not saying backsides. I mean, that's what's coming up the pike. And so when we start talking about why there's certain things that if we knew our history, we wouldn't do. Like I had a young lady, 4th grader in my office yesterday, talking about a black girl. She was Spanish, Puerto Rican, was picking on her or wanted to fight her because she was Puerto Rican. Now, that story wasn't true, but the fact that she wouldn't come out, my response was neither one of you know your history. Because if you understood your history, you would understand that those boats stopped off in the Caribbean Island. That girl's complexion is the same as yours. So how could she be talking about she want to fight you because you Puerto Rican or you want to fight her because she black? Truth be told, both of you came out of the same ancestry. So that's what I mean by folks don't know their history. Because if they knew their history, we would do some things differently. I'm convinced of that. And that's why when I start talking to people like I've been talking to, we've got to get that message out. While I was off the air, I was talking to one of our faithful listeners, Fenda. Actually, I have some of Fenda's music here as well. And we were having, I told him I should have put you on the air because he was giving me feedback on the interview that I just had with Frederick as well as other interviews earlier in the year. And he was saying, man, he said, this year you've been having some mind-blowing interviews. And Fenda, I could not agree with you more. They really have been challenging us to think. And so, and I love all my guests throughout the years because I have most of the shows archived, not all of them, but most of them. But this year really has been a year in terms of the folks God is bringing this way. So I was just telling Fenda, if the Reading Circle becomes the platform for us making some kind of change, then to God be the glory. You know, if that's the case, because like I said, I feel it in my spirit. The people that I'm meeting, this thing is going somewhere. I don't know where. I am clueless. Like I told Fenda, I'm going to go home and just kind of think some things through, send out a few emails, see where folks, if they bite or not, to take the bait. And I think they will based on our conversations. But something's got to give. If not, I agree with Frederick that the culture in and of itself could be wiped out. Make no mistake, when Donald Trump is talking about make America great again, there's some code in there. Make America great again. When was America not great? Regardless of who was leading it, regardless of who's in it, the fact that America is America makes it great. Do we always do great things? No. Do we always act great? No. But the fact that America exists makes America great. So who is he to say we're going to make America great again? And when did America lose her greatness? So there's something in between those lines that needs to be read in terms of when he says make America great again, there's something more to those words than meets the ear. And as Frederick and me and Fender and everybody else has been talking, something is not done. These cultures are going to be wiped out. And it's not going to necessarily be at the hand of those who are trying to wipe it out. We're going to wind up wiping out ourselves. Think about that. We're going to wind wiping out, like I was talking about earlier. We got folks running around here talking about my nigga and don't have sense enough to know how stupid that sounds. Think about that. Folks running around here, first off, it's grammatically incorrect. That's my nigga. Yo, my nigga. Y-O, yo. My nigga, what's up? Grammatically incorrect, first off. But we're running around this, and that's part of the norm. That's part of the vernacular, part of the vocabulary, and don't realize how stupid that sounds. Yo, man, you should have heard that nigga. That's all I hear folks walking up and down the street. Man, that nigga, you should have heard that nigga. Oh, you just don't know what that nigga. I wrote a blog post one time, and the title of it was, who is, quote, that nigga, unquote. I want to know who it is. Because that's all I hear about with folks walking up and down the street. Yo, man, that nigga said, you should have seen that nigga. You should have heard that nigga, And then when a Caucasian person turns around and call you a nigga, then you want to get huffy. That's a double standard. That don't make sense. If a Caucasian person now comes in here and say, yo, my nigga, now you want to get an attitude. What you want them to do? When they turn around here, you call them that in your little group, your little posse, that's how you all address each other. Well, why can't I address you like that? What do you want them to do? You can't have it both ways. This nonsense about we taking ownership of it is ridiculous. It really is. It's ridiculous. And anybody that can come up with a stupid argument like that, I don't know. What do you mean we're going to take it back so we can? I agree with Frederick. Why would I want to take ownership of that? A name that's derogatory. Why would I want to take ownership of being called a female dog? Why would I want to take ownership of being called a whore? Why would I want to take ownership? Why would I want to take ownership of that? But you don't want to take ownership of academics. You don't want to take ownership of being intellectual. You don't want to take ownership of something that's going to create something positive or good in the world. You don't want to take ownership of that, but you do want to take ownership of a name that was given to you by your oppressor. That doesn't make sense. I agree with Frederick in terms of we're some of the most psychologically messed up folks on the planet. And that's why those of us who are not necessary, because I'm not saying all of us are not psychologically messed up somewhere, but that's why those of us who do have an inkling or a clue or they can kind of see the light, we got to share that. We got to spread that. We got to get some more folks on board. We do.